We're creating a Dutch auction inside of a Google Sheet. That's where you have a large priced item and you want to bring that item price down. And once somebody buys it, that is it. It is gone. So we are doing like a fundraiser, let's say, and we have some pretty cool packages, some pretty cool, really high expensive items, but we're going to increase that value and then bring it down little by little. And we'll offer people a link to bid. So we'll have the current bid, the item, a link to bid where we'll create a pre-filled form for them to fill out. And then once they fill it out, we'll know that it is sold. So we'll hold the bid there, right? We don't need to lower the bid anymore. So let's work on this piece by piece. Let's create the form first to create the link to bid, and then we're going to create an automation that decreases this bid $5, let's say, every hour. So we're going to go to Tools, create a new form. Call this bid. We'll have item here, price, and we'll put the name of the person who's bidding on this item. And these are the 3 items of the form we need. So let's publish this. Anyone with the link, publish, and we'll get a URL. But we don't need the URL. We actually need to go to the 3 dots in the upper corner, get pre-filled form. And this is the item. This is the price. Get link. And now we're going to copy this link. And we're going to put it right here on link to bid. That is the link we need, but we need to edit this a little bit. We have this entry equals, this is the item, and then an ampersand entry, and then another ID, and then equals, this is the price. So we're going to create this equals hyperlink as a hyperlink, put a quote around the whole thing, but instead of the price, instead of this is the price, we'll add at the end ampersand C2. So what this does is it will automatically fill in the form with the current bid in the C column. So let's check that out. It says this is the item, here's the price, $1,000. Great. So it's working, and we just need to add the item name, which we'll put in quote, or enter the quotes there, put ampersands, and in between the ampersands we'll put CB2. That is the name of the item. We could encode URL around this so that all of the spaces become %20. Let's see if that works. There it is, luxury weekend getaway for $1,000. So whatever the current price is, this link will get them there. Let's add one more thing to clean this up. Instead of just the hyperlink showing, we're going to add a link label, bid, there. So we can copy this all the way down. Let's delete some extra rows. We can center it. And now we have a nice link to bid for each one, whatever the current bid price is. So for our automation to bring this down, we need to go to extensions app script. We're going to create a function called down $5. We're going to get a variable prices equals, and it'll just be this column C2 until the end. In this case, it's C31. And this is on the page called auction. So we'll go spreadsheet app.get active spreadsheet, which is the entire spreadsheet file, get sheet by name, auction. I think it's all caps. No, it's not. Auction, get range, and it's going to be C2, C31, get values, and that's all of the prices. But we actually don't even need all of these prices all together. We just need to minus each one individually. So we'll create a for loop. We just need to know how many rows there are. So we'll get all the values, and then we'll count. We can log this to see if it works. We'll save it, run. We may have to authorize. There, we have 30 rows, so we have a number of rows, 30. So let's create a for loop for I equals 0, semicolon, I is less than rows I plus plus. So we're going to iterate over each one. We're going to use this same sheet, get range. I'm going to go to the row plus 1 because it'll be 0, and we need to go actually plus 2 because it is the second row we want to go to, and the column is 3. That's the C row. 1, 1 if you want to add that it's just one length of a row and one length of a column. Get value. This is going to be the original price. New price equals original price minus 5. And then we can say this exact same function of get range, instead of set get value, we'll set value as the new price. So each row, we're going to go to the value in the C column, get the value, subtract 5, and then put the new price in. And we can test this out without running this automatically yet. We can just click run. This row is actually supposed to be I. There we go. That's the iterator I. Let's run it. We need to save. And this one as well, I. There we go. Let's run it again. And each of these items are down at $5. Perfect. It's working. And if we want to set this up as a automation, meaning we're going to do this every hour, so we don't have to come in here and run this every single hour, we can go over to the left side, click trigger. On the bottom right, click add trigger. And then we're going to select event source time driven. This is our timer. This will be our timer, and we'll select the hour interval every hour. If you want it less, maybe every 2 hours. Click save. Now, one thing we didn't do yet is figure out the minimum bid. So what we might want to do is set another column, minimum bid, and perhaps it's $50 for all of them, or you don't even have to have this if we are going to do the same number. Let's just add this to our automation so that once it gets to that minimum bid, then it's not going to do this new price. So we'll add here variable minimum bid, and the range will be the fourth column, D. New price is equal to original price. So if minimum bid is greater than or equal to new price, then we'll just put in the minimum bid. So now it will not go below the minimum bid, and else we'll just put in the new price. So if the new price is greater than the minimum bid, it will put in the new price. If the minimum bid is greater than or equal to the new price, it'll just put in the minimum bid. This minimum bid could be just in here, 50, or just the number 50, if you want a universal bid. Or if everything has its own bid, you would do this function. So let's, for testing purposes, equals 400. And why I did that is because some of these might be below 400. Actually, let's do 700. Just to test this out to see if it's going to work. We're not using the minimum bid column. We're just saying set a universal minimum bid. Let's run it. And there we go. We have some 700s. Perfect, right? If it's below 700, it's going to set it to 700. Awesome. So if you want different minimum bids, put them here. But if you want one universal minimum bid, you can just put it right here. So let's check to see if an item is sold. So let's put in a sold item. Andy bought this hot air balloon ride for, and equals filter. We'll filter the range of the name by the fact that this is equal to B2, and we'll have one Andy, and everything else is NA. So we can say if NA, do nothing. So it's just blank. And if it's sold, it'll be said to who it's sold to. And so when something is sold, we don't want it to be lowering the price anymore, right? We want to say this is the person who bought it at this particular price. So let's go back to our function and edit that. So we know what row we're on. So if we'll say variable sold equals, and let's double check this. We may want to have minimum bid. So the sixth column is going to have who's sold to. So instead of 3, we'll put 6 for the column. And if no sold or sold is equal to blank, then we want to do all of this. However, if it's not, then don't do anything, right? So if it's blank, let's format this document a little. If it's blank or not there, then we'll keep minimizing the bet. But if there is something sold to someone, then it will not lower the bid. So let's say, come back here and say we bought this for 800. And so hopefully of all of these, this 800 will stay the same if we run this, and we can run it a few times and see everything else is subtracting 5 except for this one. Again, we can just run it a few more times and see there that changed. And all of the ones that are above 700 and not sold will change every hour. Again, because we had our trigger set up for every hour. And once that's done, right, once everything is down to the minimum, once everything is sold, you can still keep running this trigger, but it just won't do anything. But if you do want to delete the trigger, then just come here to triggers And over on the right side in this 3 dots, you can delete trigger and delete forever. Wherever you're watching this, you can get this sheet down below absolutely free. You're watching Better Sheets here on YouTube. Make sure you check out this video or this video and subscribe right now to get more tips, tricks, how-tos, get more out of your Google Sheets than you ever have before. I'm excited to be making a ton more videos here. Ask me questions down in the comments and I will answer them in future videos. But for right now, right here, one of these videos is going to be your next Google Sheet.